Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor. And for the last time in 2018, you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Now, I didn't get a chance to do my annual college football playoff end of the year episode like I promised. Charge that to my head, not to my heart. However, the second episode of 2019, by the way, this is the last episode of 2018. By the time you're watching this, it's already 2019. But the second episode of 2019, I will do an episode where I'm paying tribute to the national champion. So it's either going to be Clemson or Alabama. As for Notre Dame and Oklahoma, I'm going to think of something to do for y'all, because y'all didn't get to the college football playoffs by accident. I don't care what anyone says. And congratulations to both of y'all. I hate that both of y'all lost, but you know, someone has to win, someone has to lose, and in my heart, y'all are just as big of winners as Alabama and Clemson are. So go Irish and Boomer Sooner. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, last week's episode I asked, which actress plays Atlanta, Aquaman's mother, in Aquaman? Now, I gave some hints on social media. The first hint was that she starred in Batman Forever in 1995. The second hint was that she was once married to a very successful movie star who's been in the biz for over 35 years. And the third one is that she's currently married to a country music singer. Well, the correct answer is Nicole Kidman. And 10 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is... Melody Evans from Benton, Louisiana. So congratulations, Melody. You'll get yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is also an Aquaman question. And it's really pertaining to the comics. Who created Aquaman? Everyone who answers correctly been entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. Now, D'Angelo Ballou from Youngstown, Ohio is requesting a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight. Excuse me. And this one features the strongest she is, the second strongest there is, going up against the Teen of Steel. Representing DC, we have Supergirl. And representing Marvel, we have She-Hulk. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call... The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Supergirl versus She-Hulk. Supergirl possesses limited superhuman strength, superhuman stamina, durability, hearing and longevity, superhuman speed, superhuman agility, superhuman reflexes, heat vision, electromagnetic spectrum vision, microscopic vision, X-ray vision, night vision, telescopic vision, infrared vision, freeze breath, wind breath, invulnerability, and flight. She-Hulk possesses superhuman strength, speed, durability, and endurance, and a regenerative healing factor. Who will win? This may look like a fight to She-Hulk, but not Supergirl. I'll explain in a minute. She-Hulk would start off the fight by charging towards Supergirl and attempting a dropkick. Supergirl would then use her speed and dodge the attack. She would then use her speed again to inject She-Hulk with a gamma radiation deterrent serum. You see, Supergirl knew she wasn't going to easily win the fight in terms of brawn, therefore she had to resort to brains. Supergirl was a prodigy chemist while living on Krypton. The gamma radiation in She-Hulk's DNA quickly depletes, and she's permanently back to her human form. Supergirl wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that fight. If you have fight requests for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright, folks, it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are three things I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is my review of Aquaman. Now, I went to see it the Saturday before Christmas, and folks, that movie was great from top to bottom. Acting was great, casting was great, music was great, special effects was great, script was great. There's not really any fault that I can come up with in terms of the movie. In any facet, in terms of any facet. I mean, it was just great. Excuse me. And there was somebody that was criticizing, Jason Momoa's the character's mannerism. I'm thinking, well, what do you expect? I mean, just you expect for him to act all royal and all heroic and all that? No, of course not. I mean, yeah, sure, he becomes the new king of Atlantis, but other than that, he's just a regular old guy from Maine, from Amnesty Bay, Maine. I mean, he's a straight up New Englander, and he has the mannerism of a New Englander. And sometimes, when you come up, when you write the script for movies like that, and a character's from a certain part of the country, then you have to like tie him into, give him the mannerism of the of where he's from, or the way he was raised. I mean, he was raised by his father in a lighthouse in Amnesty Bay, Maine. I mean, yeah, sure, he's half human, half Atlantean, but other than that, he was raised as a human being. So, again, they just had to make him realistic, and there was nothing wrong with that. And I think Nicole Kidman as Atlanta, who I just said was that was the answer to the free tea question a week earlier. She really delivered, and so did Amber Heard as Mara. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And that's one of those movies that I wouldn't mind going out to see again. And when it comes out on DVD, you best believe I'm gonna buy it when it comes out on DVD. But Aquaman, if you haven't gone to see that, you may need to go see it. You won't be disappointed. I guarantee it. Alright, now the second thing. Now this is related to Louisiana Comic-Con in Lafayette coming this March. Austin St. John has been added as a guest there. Now, for those of y'all who don't know Austin St., if you don't know the name, then probably what he has done, you're probably familiar with what he's done. He was the first character to play the Red Ranger on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He played Jason, and then he would go on to do other series like Power Rangers Zeo, and he's going to be a guest at Louisiana Comic-Con, as well as a legendary comics artist that I got the chance to meet and interview nearly 2 years ago when Louisiana Comic-Con came to Shreveport, Bob McLeod. Those two have been added to the list of awesome guests that also include Denise Crosby and several others. And this is good. I mean, I'm definitely going to try to make the drive down to Lafayette. I hate that I didn't get the chance to go this past October, but I'm going to make sure that I get my butt down there for this one. All right, the last thing. Marvel Studios is set to regain X-Men by the beginning of this year. Now X-Men really, now Marvel hasn't really had, Marvel Studios that is, hasn't really had sole property of anything X-Men really since the beginning, because it was really 20th Century Fox in association with Marvel. But now that Marvel Studios has bought 20th Century Fox, they're or bought them out, they're really looking to gain them, not just them, but also Fantastic Four. And this has been a long time coming. I'm glad this is finally happening, because it really makes no sense for Marvel to have most of their characters under Marvel Studios and have some under Sony and Columbia, and then another set of them under 20th Century Fox. So with that being said, they're not only going to gain the rights to X-Men, they're also going to get the rights of Venom from Columbia and Sony. And by the way, I already talked about Venom. That's also a great movie. Have it on DVD. Alright, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is The Flash number 60. X-Men Red number 11. Superman number 6. The Amazing Spider-Man number 12. The Amazing Spider-Man number 11. Extermination number 5. Shazam number 1. Teen Titans number 25. Teen Titans number 24. Wonder Woman number 59. And finally, Wonder Woman number 60. All right, that's 11. Which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 9,056. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, the final episode of 2018. And here's the question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Who created Aquaman? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Melody Evans from Benton, Louisiana, who won a free tee in this week's episode. Alright, really glad, 2018 was a great year for me. And, great year for the show. Started out going over to doing episodes over at Southern Realms Comics and Games. Got to the 200th episode earlier this year, and then a few months later I ended up moving back home moving back to my hometown and doing episodes in the comfort of my own home. And I hope y'all like the set. I hope that I can continue to do the show, and hope, and for the time, and if I have anything else to say about it, this is the new home. This is the home of the Comic Hero Show going forward unless I end up doing a special episode on the road. For 2019, things are going to get better. Things are always, I say this to people all the time, but always strive to do better than you did before. And not just the year before, but the day before. Always strive to be better every day. Don't just wait 365 days to do or be better. Be better every day. That's what I'm going to do. Here's the road ahead for the show. Episode 241 will be the first episode of 2019. And then episode 242, I'm going to pay tribute to the college football national championship, national champion, whether that be Clemson or Alabama. And then as for the other 4 teams that are in the college football playoff, first off, I want to apologize to everyone. I didn't get a chance to do my annual college football playoff end of the year episode that I originally started back in 2015. Charge that to my head, not to my heart. Lord willing, later on this year, the end of 2019, I'll do it again. And who knows? It may be Clemson, it may be Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma all over again. Or it may be 4 other schools. You just never know. But as for Notre Dame and Oklahoma, I'm gonna try to do something real, do something to pay tribute to the both of y'all, because again, just like I said at the beginning of the show, y'all didn't get into the college football playoffs by accident. Y'all both had wonderful seasons. I mean, up until Notre Dame's game against Clemson, they were undefeated. And then Oklahoma, they avenged those, they won. They had one loss prior to the college football playoffs. They lost to Texas in the Red River Showdown, only to get their revenge in the Big 12 championship game months later. But congratulations to the both of y'all. Y'all both had great seasons. And I'll try to do something real nice for y'all later on. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next year for episode 241. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.